Let's get it in over here. We already got it started. Peace and Black Power. Thank y'all for the same channel. Same channel. Go ahead, do your thing. All right, man. Wow, the people is crazy. They mad as hell. All right, so we in the building. Mandinka was first. Cube was second. My man was third.
Yeah.
And
Man.
Elder Suntan.
And the
Zion Westtown was fifth.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Ryan is in the building.
Yeah.
Ryan is in the building.
Lions in the building, of course. The Lions in the
Start
building.
this thing off, Jay, Mandinka Mali. Do you have a question?
Hey, put me on the big screen for my testimony. Can I get my testimony? Oh my God! See the pop? That's what I'm talking about. See, they all talked about me when I was bringing the women's over. You did this for Sister Honey, Sister Carla, Sister LaShawn Rainey. You did it for all the sisters. When JJ said, I'm going to form a women's debate league, all the Israelites got mad at 7,000. Yeah, you did. Women can't teach. I remember that. Remember when the pop first came over here? Y'all hazed her. Like I got hazed over the other channel. That builds character, strength. Napah said, hey, I feel like a proud debate scout. And any person I bring over here, man, I know I got faith in them. And this is your best performance to this date. You hear me? All the ones that knocked my vision. This is it right here. Women can get up here and whoop you niggas' ass. Sorry, the percussion. Watch the profanity. Napah, hey, it was Napah, your new debate name has been blessed upon you. Napah the Punisher should die. You got Pete, any Punisher was doing something. No. Hey, I yield. I'm proud. I feel like a proud debate scout. Yeah. I'm proud of you, Napah. God. Hey, Ryan, hey, brother. Hey, good try, man. And keep up, maybe get off the couch. She had you sitting there looking like a couch potato. Like you had your hand in the pan like Al Bundy, somebody. You hear me, man? Hey, she did this with Yara and the Apostle. Yeah. Hey, that's how you whoop that's how you do it. See, listen, so Keon and Marcus and Moses 77, them is diamonds in the rough. That's the new generation for this channel. So we gotta mold them. Give them a chance to speak. You see what I'm saying? And that's because they're gonna be like that one day. Are you?
All right. Get on over to Q. Cube, you got the mic. It's on you, Cube. You got a question? All right, we'll come back to Cube.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay now?
Oh, now we can hear you. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, yeah. I had to switch up my audio. Yeah, peace to everybody, man. Man, I watched the debate from the very beginning to the ninth, and this is what happens when you write checks that your ego can't cash. But I will say this first and foremost: what we do when we debate is not an easy thing. I know that a lot of people that sit back in the audience in the chat, they make little snide remarks and comments, and they'll say, "Oh, this or that, or you forgot this, or you didn't say that." But I'm gonna tell you, this is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing.
That's what we do.
All right, only one mic, y'all. Just one man is talking right now.
All right, I'm sorry. So I was excited about this ass whooping.
Yeah. Go ahead, Q.
So I got to give props to the brother Ryan, and I got to give props to the sister Napah, because this is not an easy thing. You know, a lot of people, they don't have any information to add or to help the community. So a lot of times they sit in the comment section. So I'm not, levying any attacks against people who are in the comments, but just understand that when we're doing these debates, we're putting our all into these things. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
We really do put our all into this. A lot of times we'll sit back for 2 weeks to put these things together. So I really want to give a big shout out to the brother Ryan and to the sister Napah. Now I did think that she won, and it was kind of crazy because she had Ryan sitting back turning pink, looking like the worm from the rotten apple. It was really bad for him. I think that he died early off on, and we should have just killed the whole debate. We should have killed the whole debate. But my thing that I have a question for Ryan Apologetics. I want to ask you this question. Um, if me and you and about 8 other guys or 10 other guys, we were in a platoon and you jumped on a grenade, are you sacrificing yourself for the rest of us?
Yeah, I
Because
covered that. Yeah, I covered that in the debate. That is what the word sacrifice means. There's a difference between that being a sacrifice and something ordained by God. You can be a Muslim in the army and jump on the grenade. You could be an atheist like yourself, Cube, and jump on the grenade. You could be a devil worshiper and even jump on the grenade. So that sacrifice being a righteous act doesn't mean it's a sacrifice that is ordained by God in the
right,
religious practices of the Bible.
right, and that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Because here's my next question: if God told you and nobody else heard it, and God told you to jump on that grenade, would that be a sacrifice that you made to God to save the rest of the platoon?
That's a good question. Actually, you're actually thinking for a rare occasion here. That's again a righteous act, and if you're a righteous person, you should have
Well, hold on.
God.
Can we get to the answer though? Would that
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a
I'm answering.
sacrifice to God if you jumped on a grenade for the rest of the platoon? Would that be a sacrifice to God? Yes or no? If He told you to do it.
It's funny if you didn't interrupt me, you would already got your answer. But yeah, no, the answer, Cube, is a righteous person should be led by God in all their steps. So your question is kind of, if it's a certain circumstance where you get a divine revelation. I understand your question. And if you were to get a divine
So
revelation
why
from
not
God,
just answer it and say yes?
Hold on, Cube. Let him finish. Let him finish. Just let him
Cube,
finish.
if you want to talk to yourself, you can, man. I'm trying to give you my answer. I would separate a sacrifice that is a divine revelation from. I'm steel manning your question to make sure I answer it. If you haven't got that far, and you're trying to piss me off, but I'm trying to be cool with you too. But
Man,
yeah,
how
no,
you ain't pissed off? You got your
but,
answer. How you
Mandinka, cool, brother. Relax.
I want whatever Mandinka's
I
on.
want
Right?
to get
That's
him.
what I want. But yeah, no. If you got a divine revelation from God to sacrifice yourself, that would be you sacrificing yourself in a godly manner. I don't know how else to say it. I wouldn't call that God ordaining you to be a human sacrifice in the religious context of the Bible, where it says God is okay with human sacrifice, because I put that usage of human sacrifice within the religious practices of the religion, not in a specific incident where you're going to randomly react to something.
Okay, last question. Last question, and I'll pass it because you said that wouldn't be God ordained.
I
If
didn't
you
say
heard
that.
it, you actually did say that. You said that wouldn't be God ordained. So now let me ask you this: if God told you to go out to learn the Bible and become a pastor, would you go and do it? Yes or no?
Yeah, I would try to follow God's
So who
law.
would you be ordained by?
Excuse me?
Who would you be ordained by if God told you to go and be a pastor? Who would you be ordained by?
God.
Okay, the same way you would be ordained if you jumped on a grenade, and this is why you lost. Peace.
Real quick, I would say, I would agree. I would agree 100% with Cube. If you go and jump on a grenade, Ryan, that is a God sacrifice. And the reason I say it's a God sacrifice, y'all can't have it both ways. You say God is the author. God is the one. Nobody dies without the permission of God. God put the thought in your mind for you to go and save the troopers, for you to go and save the rest of your people. And so therefore you ran and jumped on the mine. You ran and jumped on the grenade. You think you was doing it yourself, but no, God put that thought in you to do it. This is what Hebrews say. This is what y'all all say. You see?
Can I respond to your?
Yes, you can respond. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. I think what's going on here is we're kind of somewhat playing word games we're interchangeably using what we all agree is sacrifice. So if somebody had a gun and you jumped in front of them with a gun, and then we're like, well, we're human beings, so if we sacrifice for human sacrifices, because if a dog sacrificed, he's a dog sacrifice. That's not what the term human sacrifice is referring to, in my perspective. And I can agree to disagree with other people that want to use it in other ways. But to me, human sacrifice is a very particular thing that's in the religion itself to the worship of the God. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. You guys not crazy. You're using your interpretation. But I think at that point, we're just taking the term human sacrifice like the Aztecs and the Chinese used, and we're just trying to use it for any righteous death. So,
all right, let me move on over to Marcus. What's up, Marcus? You got the floor, brother.
Peace. I want to say good debate from both of y'all. I definitely got Napah winning, but I will say, Ryan, you did a good job, and I only got Napah winning based off the title. Not actually, I agree with her whole presentation, none of that. I actually was in the chat telling people, like, Joe, they were saying you lost off her first round. I'm like, bro, y'all gotta let Ryan respond. Like, fall back and actually listen to what he's saying, or let him rebuttal. But I would say you lost because specifically on Jephthah, you lost there. And I actually wanted you to go there and read really quickly for me. If you want, I can read it, but can you go to Judges 11 and verse 34 through 35? If you want, I'll read it, but
I got it right in my presentation. I didn't have time to thoroughly break it down. I got 8 slides on Jephthah. I was limited by time, but go ahead.
You want me to read it? I'll read it.
I got it right in front of me. What's your question?
So, right, you said Jephthah broke the law in doing this. If you read, that's why I asked you to read it really quickly, because if you read it, he said he opened his mouth to the Lord and he cannot take back what he said, meaning he could not sacrifice whatever met him at his door. He opened his mouth and said, whatever meets me at my door first, that's what I'm sacrificing to the Lord. So it didn't matter because he wasn't specific. He didn't say when an animal meet me. He said whatever. So therefore, whatever met him, he had to sacrifice. So in Judges right here, it says at the end of verse 35, it says, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord and I cannot go back. Right? And I'm pretty sure you got this. And also in the law, it states anything that's devoted to be killed unto the Lord, you have to kill it. So therefore, obviously, the Most High accepted his sacrifice. Why didn't God come down and say, nah, that's a human, so we're not going to do that. You can ransom it for an animal. No, he had to go through with it, right?
All right, Brother Marcus, ask the question, though.
No, come
You're
on.
not questioning me.
Mandinka. Let me rock this, brother. Let me do what I do.
All right, go ahead. Do your thing.
And you always say, why do I put you in the back, Mandinka? Now, do you see what I'm talking about, brother? Go ahead.
Put me in the back. I'm not hostage conscious no more. You always want to put me in the back.
Yeah, Marcus, like I said in the debate, Leviticus 5:4, because you're quoting the law in Numbers. I'm aware of what law you're quoting. If you vow anything in the book of Numbers, you're supposed to honor your vow. But Leviticus 5:4 tells us if anyone utters with his lips a rash oath to do evil or to do good. So in that case, it was to do good because he offered a burnt offering to God. Any sort of rash oath that people swear and it is hidden from him, when he comes to know it and he realizes his guilt in any of these, this is Leviticus 5:4-6. When he realizes his guilt in any of these and confesses the sin he has committed, he shall bring to the Lord as his compensation for the sin that he has committed a female from the flock, a lamb or a goat for a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for his sin. So yeah, if you made a vow and then you didn't go through with it, it would be considered a sin. Yet the law in Leviticus 5:4-6 would allow him to go to the priest to get atonement. And if he couldn't afford a lamb or a goat, he could even give 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons. So, and he's breaking the law verbatim in Deuteronomy 18:10, Deuteronomy 12. So the law says do not offer your son or daughter as a burnt offering verbatim. So when he realized his vow broke God's law, see, this is why the book of Judges, and I didn't get to show all the verses, but we're all familiar with the concept of everyone did what was right in their own eyes. There was no king in Israel in those days. That's why the book of Judges shows us the error. And, Deuteronomy was written 300 years before the book of Judges. So if he had a relationship with the high priest, he could have atoned for it just by, sacrificing a lamb, a goat, or 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons. And that's my answer.
Brother, I wasn't quoting the Leviticus book you quoted. I actually was referring to Leviticus chapter 27. So that your response was to something totally different. Like I said, bro, I agree with you in a lot of different points. The bringing your child before the Lord, that's not sacrifice. Isaac wasn't sacrificed. Like I said, I agree with you on most of your points. But according to the topic, you lost. And then what I was actually referencing is Leviticus 27 verses
You went out, Marcus. You went out. All right. I want to jump down to Judah Nas. Judah, what you got? All right, he's back. He's back. He's back.
Bad. I had got a phone call. That's what it is. So really quickly, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give you this scripture and then I'm gonna go. So what actually I was referring to is Leviticus 27 in verse. It starts around 28, but I'm gonna get to the point. It says, "None devoted, which shall be devoted of man, shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death." And if you go up higher, it says of man or of beast. It doesn't say of beast. It says of man or beast. Anything devoted to the Lord has to be put to death. So therefore, Jephthah had to carry out his promise. And we all know that Jephthah wasn't thinking about sacrificing his daughter, but he had to carry out his promise. As you see it clearly, he says, when I seen my daughter, I ripped my clothes, I was upset, whatever. But according to the law, he had to go through with his promise. And like I said, me and Napah kind of had a conversation a little different on a
All right. Let me move on over now to Judah Nas. I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested in what Judah got to say because Ryan is Judah Hebrew hitman.
Hold on, it was suntan. It was suntan, son. It was suntan.
No. Let me rock that one. Ryan,
okay, my bad.
Ryan is Judah's Hebrew hitman to the New Testament. So I got to see what Judah take is on this.
Thanks, sa.neter, for having me up. Peace to both debaters. We see Ryan in action pretty frequently. Sorry, my baby's crying. It's good to see Napah with her katana sharpened up. I'm a debater, so I don't want to say who my opinion is or who won, whatever, because they both put in that work.
Nah, brother, no. Ain't no tiptoeing. No, you gotta make your decision. Because when you go live on your channel, you're gonna make your decision over there.
All right. I give it to Napah. I don't give it to her. She won the debate according to the topic of the debate. The things she brought out are exactly what it is. Humans had to die for the Most High. All right, hold on, JJ. Humans had to die for the Most High to be appeased, and this is that's a sacrifice because the Israelites were called God's treasured people. But if in the Torah, God told the Levites to kill Israelites. 3,000 Israelites died to purify the people. So Napah kept hitting on that point. You know what I'm saying? And it's true that humans had to die. It's not saying God was celebrating, but he did give the Levites top status in Israel for killing human beings. So that's just
Yahweh bloodthirsty, bro.
Okay, whatever. So you know what I mean? So yeah, so I'll give it to Napah, but Ryan, he got busy, you know what I'm saying? They all put in a lot of work. It's what it is, and shout out to both of them. And I want to say shout out to thank you, sa.neter. We had a talk. Shout out to Captain Nazariog. I'm not gonna say it on here, but sa.neter, he was right. I made my apologies to the brother and to the general. But yeah, man, great debate, man. I ain't trying to be long-winded, and congrats and shouts to both y'all, and shouts to Sister Napah. You know what I mean? I gave it to her. I gave it to her. She won that. Come on, Ryan, bro. You bugging.
This is the same dude.
Are you ready for next week, brother? You and King Steph.
Yes, I'm going to sacrifice him to Azazel.
You've been putting your presentation together.
Yeah. I'm gonna sacrifice. It's gonna be. I'm gonna sacrifice him to Azazel, to that goat demon that he liked.
Hey, Judah, just to respond to you, since you're better at the Hebrew than me, obviously, I don't even read Hebrew, you do. Can you look at 1 Samuel 15:15, where Saul is speaking to Samuel, and the word is not haram, it's harem. So you'd have to clarify for me. To me, it seems like it's like a very similar word. I mean, the spelling's slightly different. Is that the same usage of haram when it's harem in 1 Samuel 15:15? Because it's in the interlinear, it's differentiated as slightly different, even though the meaning's similar. Harem, is it the same thing as haram in 1 Samuel 15:15?
To correct you, Moises, to correct you, JJ does not pay me, but JJ do give donations, which a lot of y'all should do. So don't get mad at JJ for supporting. I'm still waiting on a donation from you, Moise. I ain't see one yet. But I allow you to come up and get it in with us. Come on, man. So don't get mad at him for donating, brother.
I donated a whole debate for the community. I pay. Me and Corey supposed to go half on it, but we supposed to donate 100. But Corey, I couldn't catch up with him. You know, shout out to Corey.
Right.
But I paid $70 to pay to watch the debate. So man, you better sit down somewhere, chump. This is good.
Yes. So the word used in that Samuel 15:15 is the word haram. The word haram means to be devoted or set apart, to be destroyed. So that same word is the same word. Haram.
Okay, so if that's the same word, why is Saul saying in 1 Samuel 15:15, they have brought them from the Amalekites for the people, spare the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have devoted to destruction. So Saul in 1 Samuel 15:15 is differentiating a sacrifice to God to haram, the destruction. So it doesn't seem like Saul's looking at haram as sacrifice. Do you see what I'm saying there?
The word haram is also applied to Achan, right? Who's took that garment and tried to hide it in his tent.
Yeah.
Right. So you remember, it means to be set apart. Remember, you have various words for the word sacrifice. You have various words. So I'll get into that. Right. But it's the same, bro. He was devoted to be destroyed. So it's like a offering.
Judah was his ghostwriter, y'all.
No, that's not true. And Ryan will tell you I was not ghostwriting for him or even helping him in the debate. So stop that.
All right, come on, man. Dick, I need you to chill, brother. Please, brother. Come on, let's keep it cordial. All right, Son Tan, my brother, my big brother. Let's go, man.
Peace to Napah and to what's
Ryan.
Peace to Napah and Ryan. I like Ryan, and I'm gonna say this right here, and I want everybody to hear this. When I deal, and that's why I'm not in the Baptist thing no more like I was, because it's chronology that counts. Napah did great on our information, right? But as I know, Jesus was in the New Testament, particularly the book of Hebrews, it was argued that Jesus' sacrifice was once an anointment for all sins, making further blood sacrifices unnecessary. So when I say that, I say this right here. She was right in all her, information, right? But it's chronology. I would like to ask Napah, if he's around, what sacrifices was made after Christ made this atonement, if she's still there.
No, Napah's not here.
Oh, she's not. Ryan, I will ask you
right now.
You hit the before. She went with the before.
But see, that's what I'm saying, JJ. I'm talking to I appreciate you, man, Deacon, but what I'm saying is this here. After Christ, then there was no more blood sacrifices. That's what it's chronology, man. You can't bring the old wine and pour it in the new bottles. You understand? That's what I'm saying. I'm not here to do a side, and that's one reason why I'm in Kemet right now, because it's too much misleading and too many interpretations of the subject matter with different sort of people. And I respect JJ. He's a great researcher. and Ryan sticks to the Bible.
I'm rocking with you, son. You know I rock with you.
Why are you interrupting me, man?
All I'm saying, I'm going to shut up for 10 minutes.
All I need to say is this. Even in this book, and I'm sure everybody on the panel, Judah, everybody who's religious in a way, you got to understand religions work with chronology. After Christ, and Jude, and I can ask you, Ryan, after Christ, what other sacrifice was made that you know of?
Yeah, to me, Christ is the one sacrifice, not just,
But I'm saying after that, what happened?
Yeah, nothing. The only way we sacrifice to God now is through prayer, obedience, and being willing to be martyrs and obedient to the point of death like Christ. So that's where, like, if somebody wants to take we're living sacrifices and that's a human sacrifice angle, like Napah did somewhat in the debate, like, I have no problem with that. Like, I agree with we are living sacrifices. The problem I have with it is the way I am using human sacrifice is it's like what the Aztecs did or the Chinese people did or what all these other cultures did, burning their children. Like, those to me, or even in the Old Testament, the deaths, like the haram, I don't agree with it because that's all the land of Canaan getting destroyed.
Brother Ryan, I want to say this and I want to leave off and let other people talk. All I'm saying is this, and I was taught this since I've been in Christianity, and I left Christianity when I met the House of Consciousness, right? So all I'm saying is this here, I was taught the word mean what it says. It all is adding to it, and all these extra things that people add to it is a whole different thing, right? It mean what it says, right? So after Christ, you tell me, JJ, you steady want to talk. What was the sacrifices made after Christ? That's all I want to know. If somebody can tell me that, then I'll be good. I'll talk to Napah later. But that was a great debate, y'all. Great information. Hey, way to hang in there, Ryan. But she hit the points. If you want to put it that way, it was more sacrifice. But what happened after Christ? And I
agree with you. Christ's death.
1,000 apologies, okay?
Yeah,
no problem. No problem, bro.
No, Christ's death was the final act of blood sacrifice that all humanity required, because there's never going to be a sacrifice that's going to atone for any human other than Christ. So if you're asking that question, is there anything after? No. So the whole book was leading up to that. So all the typology of Isaac and all the other Jonah, all these incidents, they're typology to Christ. As you see, Isaac lived, Jonah lived. So their blood wasn't actually what was required from God.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, let me try to help you out, Suntan, and Brother Ryan,
Try, son, but I don't think so.
When you say that Jesus was the only sacrifice,
nope, that ain't what I said.
But okay. I want to ask Ryan. Napah brought up something very important.
Oh, there she goes. She here now, son.
Yes, she here now. Ryan, didn't the Most High sacrifice Moses when he told Moses to go up to the hill? And not only did he sacrifice him, he carved out a nice grave for him, somewhere hidden where no one will be able to find him. Didn't he do that, Brother Ryan?
No. See, that's the thing. I don't.
No, he just didn't let him cross the River Jordan.
Yeah, I don't have
to cross.
Yeah, I don't have a problem if somebody wants to look at it as a sacrifice, but I don't.
Hey, Judah, the Most High didn't kill Moses. He didn't kill him go up on the hill or the mountain.
He killed him.
Why they saying no?
Yes, he did.
He didn't let Moses go see the new land. He didn't let him cross the river.
No, brother, he killed him, bro. He put him in the grave.
So I didn't say he didn't. Yeah, I didn't say he didn't kill him. I said he didn't sacrifice him. That's the thing that I'm. If you guys want to call that a sacrifice,
he didn't sacrifice him when he said,
"Can I get in here for a
second? Explain this when y'all give me my opportunity."
Yeah, and I want to say this. Peace. I am still cooking. Peace to everybody. Thank you so much for doing this. You don't have to put me in. Thank you. I see you, Mandika. Peace to everybody. Cube, Judah, Hassad, my sister Sakina Ra, Zion, Ryan. Who else is on here? Asar, 7 Asar. I just want to say this. You know, you can take me off the big screen if you could, honey.
Suntan is here too.
Oh, Suntan.
Get your glory.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm enjoying just cooking and listening. I want to say, you know, Ryan, when you're on here and it is the after show, so you have the right to go in a little bit. When you're saying, well, if she just wants to say it's symbolic, I literally showed you people's dying. Stop playing in my face. You didn't say one word about those apostles, not one. They were tortured and murdered for God as sacrifices. Paul said, be a sacrifice, y'all. Jesus said, you know, you're going to be taken up and sacrificed, right, for me.
It's like reality, Napah.
Yeah, so I just want you to stop talking about, oh, well, if she's not saying literal, I can talk to us about why those apostles died for God as sacrifice. I'm going to listen in, but I want you to stop being disingenuous. Ryan, I like you as a person. Like, if we just and cut. All right, backstage, you did great. But Ryan, you're up here playing in my face, trying to act like, oh, she didn't do I knew the assignment and I did it. I showed you people died. And it was okay with the Most High as a sacrifice. You don't understand haram because you're not ready for the meat. You're still drinking infamil. No, actually, you're drinking quarter waters with the nipple on it. You're not ready for haram. Just talk to us about why all those apostles were sacrificed for God. Now, I'm going to let everybody go. I love everybody.
Leave alone, Napah.
Peace. I got to go.
I had a question for you, Napah.
I'm listening.
Okay, so this is my question to you. What was the sacrifices after Jesus' sacrifice that the Hebrews argued in Hebrews that the sacrifice of Christ for all atonement for sins and making further blood sacrifices was unnecessary? What happened after that? As far as the sacrifices is concerned.
Put the scripture on the screen so that everybody can get it.
Yes, he went off. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm done. I'm done.
Hold on, everybody. Let me say this, man, real quick, man.
Go ahead.
To my brother Mandinka.
That's my man.
No, listen, Mandinka, it's all right. We gotta have a little patience with Mandinka, man.
Yeah.
We gotta understand who he is, man.
He over there flexing and everything.
This is who he is, brother. He's not going to please that, man.
That's right,
I know it's annoying sometimes. Like right now, look at him.
Why you lying to the plea? Like Proverbs 28 and wonder wicked flee.
All right. Now he's a rapper now. But anyway, this is who he is, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just gotta have a little patience with him because he's not gonna change. This is just who the brother is.
Don't look like
my sister, Sakina Rod's in the building.
Peace, Sakina Rod. Peace, sister.
Peace, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I do have a question for Ryan, and I hope this don't come out wrong. So when you said that you didn't have anybody, or you was questioning the atonement after Jesus. Now, I do know that the atonement was supposed to be with the priest. Am I correct?
Yeah.
All right. So the atonement was through all the priests, and they were going, and this was not with the tabernacle. They were actually going inside the temples, and they had ropes tied around their waist. And if they didn't come out, this is the reason why they pulled that rope. And if they didn't come out, coming out dead, that means someone forgiven. And that was the price of that atonement. Am I correct?
I've heard people say something like that, but I don't know if that's in the Talmud or what, because I don't know where in the Bible it is. You'd have to point me to the verse. There's nothing that I can think of off the top of my head that has. It sounds like I've heard another person say that before, but I think it might be more like rabbinic Jewish tradition stuff, not verbatim in the Bible, unless somebody can correct me.
Okay, but that changed the game in the tabernacle and the going inside the temple. Correct?
What do you mean change the game? What are you saying?
You no longer went into the temple, you went into a tabernacle. The tabernacle was built from this point on, right? And so moving forward, with Jesus being the last human sacrifice, right? And now we asking about since then, because everybody knows, going back and forth with the arguments about Jesus being this book in the Bible in the Americas. So that last human sacrifice in this land, bringing it on to the new Babylon in America, that new sacrifice or sacrificial idea being American slaves, right? Still being tied, still being whipped, still being hung, right? Because liberty came before freedom, came before humanity. So what are we asking? That's my question. Because you asked, and so did Elder Suntan, saying, what last sacrifice did you see?
I don't understand your question, honestly.
The question was, what last human sacrifice had you seen since Jesus?
Yeah, and that's like what I'm saying, why I disagree with people saying there were human sacrifices in all these instances in the Bible when people just died. People have died since Jesus, obviously, and people have died in sacrificial manners, but that's not worship of God being a human sacrifice. Like the way the term human sacrifice is used in most circles, at least that I'm aware of, is like what the Aztecs did, the Chinese did.
People not believe in Jesus? Was they not in America? We all, before scholarship came in, were they not believing in one Bible, the same as everybody else, before Apocrypha, before all of this other scholarship? They only had one King JV. Now that the same one before that other Christian version and the other King JV, everybody had one book. Now that you have a Christian version and then this other KJV version, now we have something to debate. But if you didn't have these two different versions, you don't have none to debate. So again, because you brought up a whole book of feasts, or 7 feasts, and I think 3 of them run concordantly, and the other ones come later. So them 50 days, them 49 days you questioning, do you run any of those within your time? Do you celebrate any of them, or are you only questioning Hebrews and Jews?
Me particular, I mean, if your question is, do I celebrate the feast? You said a lot there, so I'm trying to answer your exact question. Is your question, do I celebrate the feasts of the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, no, I don't particularly celebrate the feasts. I mean, I do celebrate them, you know, the holidays within the Christian church, but I'm not
overline for that one.
I'm not somebody that's an Old Testament believer, because I don't think those festivals can be celebrated as they were written unless you're in the land. A lot of them are based around the agriculture of the land, where you wave a sheaf offering. You would do certain offerings with oil, grain, the animals. So if you claim nowadays that you're still practicing those feasts, that you're not doing any of the literally none of the sacrifices that are in there, like, to me, you're just saying you're practicing the festivals when you're not really doing it. You might be acknowledging the time frame of when the festivals are occurring, but you're not actually doing the sacrifices. So it's not like the Israelites had that option. Be like, oh yeah, we're not going to do any of the sacrifices God said, but that qualifies as us celebrating. So I think people saying it nowadays are really just saying it. They're not really doing it. So I don't claim to be that person.
My last question is, but Jesus himself did them. So how do you follow and don't do them yourself, yet you eat the cracker and drink the wine? And with that, I appreciate you, sa.neter, for having me on here. I appreciate the discussion. This is why I said all one, and I appreciate what you added to it, Ryan. But again, this is why you lost. Shem and Hotep, and thank y'all for having me.
Sure.
All right, peace. I want to first thank everybody who donated to Napah, who donated to Ryan. Thank y'all who have contributed. Y'all always show love and support. Let me go to my man 7. Saw. What up, 7? Oh, I got Zion watch out. My bad. Go ahead, but go ahead, Saw.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right, yo.
No. Go ahead, Saw. Go ahead, Saw. I got you, Zion. You next.
Yeah. I just want to say peace to you, Saul. Peace to Ryan, and peace to Queen Napah. I want to start with somebody got to die. If I go, you gotta go. Somebody got to die. Let the gunshots blow. And man, it was shots fired tonight. And Napah didn't shoot no gunshots. She dropped atomic bombs of examples and information from the sources in the Bible. And this is something that I had predicted. I predicted she was going to slaughter him because there was too many examples. And I have to say, Ryan, you did do a good job of presenting your argument. You had an argument. That's what made this debate so great, because you did have an argument. It didn't prove what the topic was, right? And she did a much more better job in doing that. And it's incredible for me to see that. For you, my question for you would be, when you guys were having that discussion, the power won to me, of course, but when you guys were having that discussion, you had told her the example she used for Satan were deaths by God. Those were deaths by Satan. But we all know that Satan can't do nothing without the permission of God. So just by God giving him the commission to kill, those are God's deaths, not Satan's deaths, right? Would you agree with that?
I respect your opinion on it, because I understand you're coming from the premise all has to be allowed by God. But I would think, and I think a lot of people would think, that when we're talking about did the devil ever kill anybody in the Bible, those are literally the only incidents that people can point to where verbatim is giving the devil credit, because God didn't say kill this amount of people or kill this specific person. All he did is say, don't touch Job, and you can do anything else you want. So yeah, in a way you can be like, well, yeah, God allowed it, so God's responsible. But that's also like, you allow somebody to watch over your house, and you say, just don't touch the liquor cabinet, and then they do everything else in the house, and you're like, well, he allowed him to stay in his house and do whatever he wants, so no matter what he does, you allowed it, when really God gave him one command: just don't touch Job. So no, I would attribute the deaths to the devil, because I think that was the devil trying to test Job's faith, to make God, see that Job wasn't righteous. So I do attribute him to the devil.
So you say the devil can kill without God's permission. That's what you're telling us?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I actually.
So he has to ask permission to kill, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean God wanted him to do it. It doesn't mean God.
Wait a minute. Hold on. If he has to ask for permission, and then God gives him the permission to kill, that's God killing through Satan.
Okay, let me ask you a rebuttal question. Did the devil have to kill once God said, don't touch Job, but he gave him an option. You can do anything else. You can destroy everybody else, but don't touch Job. Did the devil have an option to not kill anybody?
The devil didn't kill Job, because the devil, he listens to God. He's God's most loyal servant than anyone. So he never does anything opposite of what God wants. He only does what God wants, right?
No, I don't think
There's no examples of him. There's no examples of him doing anything other than what God permitted. Correct?
Are you talking about the devil?
I'm talking about Satan.
Yeah, no.
We're talking about Satan.
Yeah, no. The devil does a million things, like infinite things that are against God. Like if you accept the New Testament, at least, because Jesus.
Ryan, you're backpedaling, because you agree that Satan can't do anything without God's permission, yet you don't want to attribute God's decision to allow him to kill to God, because he wouldn't kill if God said no. Correct?
I gave you the rebuttal question that you didn't answer. When God said you can kill, you have the option to kill everything besides Job. did the devil then have to kill anyone? That was my question.
I did, and I did answer you. I did answer you, Ryan. I
What's
told
your
you
answer?
that my answer is this: the devil cannot um, go against God. The devil has never went against God. Everything that the devil had done, he had to get permission from God. So he's never done anything in opposite of what he's told him to do. So your question is irrelevant because the devil doesn't do that,
Well, that's just you
right?
coming from the paradigm of how the devil operates, not really, again,
I mean,
answering.
what I'm saying is facts, Ryan. What I'm saying is actual facts. You
I
can't
don't agree
dispute it.
with you.
You may disagree with it. Like when you another thing that weakened your stance in this argument is because you admitted that you allow her to have her definition of
All right, all
sacrifice.
right, all right. Hold on, hold on, hold
No,
on,
don't put him
hold
off.
on, hold on. Everybody, hold on. Let me see what y'all got to say.
Hey, I like that brother
Does
right
the
there.
devil need permission to kill? Does the devil need permission from God to kill?
Based on a close reading of the Bible, the answer to whether the devil needs permission from God to kill is complex and not explicitly stated for every situation. However, the biblical evidence strongly suggests that Satan's power is always limited and ultimately subordinate to God's authority. Here's a breakdown of the key points. The book of Job is a primary example. In the book of Job, Satan appears before God and asks for permission to test Job. God grants him permission but sets specific boundaries. Satan is allowed to take away Job's possessions, family, and health, but he is explicitly forbidden from taking Job's life. This narrative clearly shows that God is in control and that Satan cannot act without divine permission and within divine. Luke chapter 22, verses 31 to 32. Another key passage is when Jesus tells Peter, "Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat." This suggests that Satan sought permission to test Peter and the other disciples. Jesus' prayer for Peter's faith to not fail further emphasizes God's ultimate power and care, even in the face of satanic attacks. God's hedge of protection. The book of Job mentions that God has put a hedge of protection around Job and his family, Job chapter 1, verse 10. Satan's request for permission is essentially a request for God to remove that protection. This concept suggests that God's people are generally protected, and Satan can only attack when God allows the hedge to be lowered for a specific purpose. Satan is a creature.
Drop that bomb.
God damn,
Drop
bro.
that bomb.
Woo!
Drop that bomb.
Listen, man. Listen. No, listen, man. So this is what the brother's saying, right? Why do you think God gave him permission and sent them down here upon earth to be with us? He sent them down here and he took that hedge off of us, where Satan is now allowed to manipulate us, control us, to kill us, because God gave him that permission. He said that he only put the hedge on people who he loved, who he care about. So it's he don't love us because he sent them down here to us. Right? Go ahead. Let me fall back, man.
I'll respond to what you just said. I agree God is sovereign, but I don't agree that God acts as the devil. The way you guys are presenting him, the devil, as some obedient angel of God that is doing God's will, which is the antithesis of what the devil is. Christ in the New Testament says, a kingdom divided against itself won't stand. A good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. And God is not fighting against his own kingdom. So there is free will that God has allowed me, you, the devil, everyone else to operate under. And yeah, we are all under God's sovereignty also at the same time. So we can't blame God for everything that the devil does. And that was why my question in Job to Saw in Job was, when God said you can do anything besides kill Job, why does that mean that God gave a command to kill the other people? Because he didn't say kill everybody else. He just gave the devil the possibility, the word possibility, to do it. So that's why I was trying to get he kept saying, well, yeah, the devil can't do anything without God's permission. I agree. But that doesn't mean God told the devil to go kill all Job's family.
Ryan, you said,
right? Yeah.
Hold up, man. Hold on. Ryan, you said free will. If I say you got free will, Ryan, but if you go out there and touch that right there, I'm gonna kill you. Do you have free will?
I mean, you have free
No,
will.
no, no, I'm talking to Ryan.
Yeah, you have
Because God say you got free will, but if you do this, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, you do have
How
free
is that
will.
free will?
Because
that's not free will, brother.
Well, you do have free will because you can either do it and die or not do it. So you do have a choice. So
But that's really not a choice, brother. That's still not a.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Can I make my last statement to him? I just want to make my last statement to him.
Go ahead, Sal.
Because Ryan, when you say that he gave the devil a choice, he didn't give the devil a choice. He told the devil explicitly what he could and couldn't do. So he didn't say you you could do this or you could do that. Make a choice. He didn't say that. He said you could do whatever, but don't touch him. He said you could do whatever, but don't touch him. So he told him don't touch him. The devil didn't kill him. He told him don't kill him. The devil didn't kill him. The devil did what God allowed him to do. So there is no choice that he gave to the devil. He don't give the devil choices. He gives the devil directives. That's what he does. And the devil follows the directive loyally. So
All right.
scripture supports that narrative.
All right, let
not
me
yours.
come over to War Child. War Child, let's go.
All right. Bless and love, y'all. This is for the hood. The hood, the all my people. So watch this. Listen. Ryan did very good. He did really. You're coming up. I see you working. You know what I'm saying? You flexing. The main issue here is the word for sacrifice. The word in the Hebrew is not what we think it is. It is zebach. Zebach. It could be a flesh animal. It could be a bread offering. It could be the offering of your lips. Okay? It's something that someone gives earnestly from themselves. But the main issue here is not whether God likes it or not. It's the fact that there is a price. The wages of sin. That's where you lose the argument. Because if the wages of sin is death, whether it be my death or whether it be a blood atonement to hold off, right? Even with Christ, that is a grace period. We know that a grace period, legally speaking, is temporary. It's only a covering for a time period, a grace period. So when we talk about whether a human sacrifice, look at Phineas. Phineas, when God was about to slay, and he put a plague on Israel, but Israel's falling. Can you stop running, son? Because you're distracting me. So when he was going to put this plague, and he did put the plague on, people started dying, right? Because of their sins and their worship of another God, right? And giving offerings and sacrifices to another God. God cursed Israel. And he did put a price on it verbally, according to the scriptures. It was thus saith the Lord, right? That you have to kill this many. But Phineas took his own spear and slew two, a woman and a male, an Israelite male and a Midianite woman. Didn't have nothing to do, but God stopped. That means that he accepted the offering. The offering. It wasn't ordained. It wasn't. God didn't tell him to go and slay those two people. Actually, he said they were supposed to be a
child.
Die, right? So when Phineas took out of his own heart to go and do something, and he's from the bloodline of Aaron, right? This is really, Phineas is really where the priesthood begins. Aaron was supposed to be the high priest, but really where the covenant begins is with Phineas. And Phineas's slaying of two. And God stopped the plague. So The fact of the matter is not whether God likes it or he commanded it. It's whether or not it fulfills the price. The wage is paid. And that's where you lost. And I'm done.
Damn. Schwarzenegger. Damn.
Moist, you on the call, brother.
I'm here. You hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, my phone about to die, but I'm gonna be quick. Two things before I address the debate. The whole thing, like, you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, as far as like JJ be, you know what I'm saying? Like he just mentioned, like when a couple of times when he said, I got $50 to make a show after this. So I feel he's playing you. No disrespect to you. I used to support this stuff until the chat.
He don't send me the $50, brother. He just
Yo, I know. I'm just saying he comes a little bit aggressive on how he's treating you. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay, brother.
Yeah, I understand, JJ. I feel you a little bit too. You taking the house over, like where?
I'm not getting no extra.
Understood, but that was the reason on my comment. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Let him speak, Jay.
Yeah, so I felt like it was more disrespect for you around why I said my comment, and I do send my money. I don't go crazy. I don't know what they sent, but I'm not gonna be like, here's $50. Let me take the show over $50.
Go crazy.
That's my opinion on that.
It's not even my show.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that you know how that go. Like, yeah, I got $50 now on the house. You know what I'm saying? Over $50. All right, well, I'm down to like 4% on my battery. I'm gonna be quick. As far as what's his name, Ryan? Ryan technically is correct based on the topic. If you would consider the law, and Jesus Christ represents the final sacrifice on the law, being the lamb on the sacrificial of the lamb itself. So technically, it's debatable on what you mean as far as human sacrifice. So technically, Ryan would be correct that Jesus is the final law. I mean, the final sacrifice, and not humans were considered sacrifice. Jesus just represented the lamb. Now, when you're saying sacrifice, period, there are sacrifices and there will be sacrifice. Even like when Israelites mentioned the mark of the, MO2TB, y'all hear me? My phone is dying.
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey,
All right, so we're gonna have to choose life or death when that time comes, when the mark comes. If it happened or if not in the future, there will be sacrifice on what decision you choose. So technically, there are sacrifices as opposed to the final sacrifice of Jesus. So technically, Ryan is correct because Jesus is the only human sacrifice. Technically, as you're comparing it to the law of the Torah. You know what I'm saying? But as far as sacrifice, period, yeah, there are more sacrifices that would be attributed to your choice in the future and then. But technically, Jesus is the and only human sacrifice. And that's where I stand. Before my phone dies, if it does die, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus only fans, yo. Jesus
hold
only.
up, brother.
Scripture.
All right, I don't even deal with the book like that no more. Okay, bro. Be quiet for your battery die, because talking can make it go down.
Yeah, it's gonna die.
That's my bad, JJ.
All right, brother, it's gonna be all right. Because you called me out for some reason, I don't know. Now, what I did.
No, I was called out. I was called out. Not you.
Well, why he the star of the show now? All right, man.
No, that was me. That was Zion, yo. I was talking in between. I apologize.
Yeah, but I got to deal with this, man. I don't even know this guy. All right. So
it wasn't directed at you. It was your behavior. My bad.
Brother, sa.neter. We did a pay-per-view debate for the people, you know what I'm saying, raise money for the House of Conscience, me and Takori, right? So, the people enjoyed it, but everybody didn't pay to see it. So Takori was running around talking about he beat me. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You didn't even want to poll. So 7,000 asked, I said, Takori, you pay 50, I pay 50, so we can show this debate for the people. Even sa.neter announced it. Well, I couldn't catch up with Takori. So I paid him 70, close to the 100. So you don't even know what the hell you talking about, Chicano. You don't even like us, Chicano.
What you talking about? Don't get.
Let me finish, bro. So I didn't interrupt you.
Yo, no, don't get stupid though. Say what you say, bro. Just don't get stupid.
Okay,
all right,
don't get stupid.
All right, yo, hold on.
No, let me finish up.
No, you don't need to call me.
Bro, I paid so the people can see it. And trying to announce
I ain't even
so they
Chicano.
can vote on it, nigga. So get your goddamn.
Yeah, whatever. You still being disrespectful.
Ass up out of here, man.
You still disrespectful, bro.
All right, everybody. Peace and Black Power, y'all. I'm not with all that crazy stuff. I'm done. We done with the show. Thank you, Brother Ryan. Appreciate you. And we out of here. Peace and Black Power, everybody. We out. We ain't doing all that.